It is Thursday. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why do you say that? Because it matters. Because, baby, we're going to be worried now before this thing is over. So I want you to know this is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I just want to say welcome, welcome, and welcome to first-time viewers, to people who have never been a part, to those who have been journeying with us all along. Hey, family, right? We are so excited to have you here and being a part of Coach Nikki, the Check-In Podcast. Every week it becomes something different. Last week I realized I had the wrong mic, and I originally said I wasn't going to share all of the things, but I am sharing them because it is necessary for you to know that this process is just that, right? And so when you realize your heart beats and you want to do things of greatness, that you have to endure the process. And I think people forget to share the process, and we just celebrate the immediate show up. And so, yes, you get to see this full thing in its fullness and its reality, but it takes a little bit to get here. I am here for about 2 hours prior to in the setup. Nikki, why are you telling me all of this? Because I want you to realize that even in this, process is necessary. Even in what you get to see and be a part of, process is necessary. But we're about to check in, right? So the check-in starts off with just that. We're going to check in together between 1 and 5. Those who are able to share their comments, those that are able to be a part, I want you to put your comments in right now. Put your comments in 1 to 5. 1 being I'm present, and that's all I have. 5 being this is the most amazing moment, right? So whatever one you choose is what you choose. Again, we're saying 1 to 5, right? 1 is that I'm present. Hey, I'm here. 5 being this is the most amazing moment. And again, we're talking about moments, right? We're checking it in the moment, not the day. So at 7:02, where you are, right? And so we haven't had a chance to go in depth, but we're going to go in depth today about the check-in. But the other part is our title and our episode for this week is Balancing Roles, right? And y'all have asked for, y'all have made it known that y'all wanted her here. And so before we get into the check-in, we're going to invite our special guest. So what I have said out loud is that this is a platform and a place, right? A place take a seat on the couch with me. Come talk to me. Let's talk. Let's get comfortable. Let's get in it. But everybody has asked, where's Shay? Can we talk to Shay? Oh, I miss Shay. Well, what's Shay doing? And so those who do not know, for those who just joined the journey, Shay is my wife. And so I asked her to be a part of tonight or this whole process. Now, what's she going to tell y'all when she get here? Baby, if it weren't for her, we wouldn't have no process. Baby, if it weren't for her, we wouldn't have this bed, these pullers, the lights, any other things, because she moved this stuff. She heard my heart and she made it happen. And I'm so grateful to her for that. So tonight's topic, again, is balancing roles. And who better and what better to talk about that than with my partner. So those who had the questions, please put them in the comments if you forgot. But we're going to have a time talking about this. When you think about balancing roles, when you think about being who you are, as individuals, we wear many, many, many hats as an individual person. So imagine once you connect yourself with a partner and a person, and you're like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, what are you doing? And now we have to create this thing called life and family, right? Where you thought the roles didn't matter, or you did not define roles prior to what that looks like. Or if you have somebody like myself who's in the limelight outside all the time, and then you connect yourself with a person who kind of plays the back, how do you find roles and find spaces for each other, where you support each other or where you yelling at each other, right? Because those things happen. I just want to tell somebody, we don't want to talk about that. We think marriage is bliss. You had a wedding friend. That was not the marriage. But we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But before we get into depth with our check-in today, I want to have her come and be a part of our check-in today. So y'all, let's welcome Shay. Woo! Come on, Shay. Come on, Shay. Oh. Yes, y'all. Welcome her to the couch. Welcome to the couch.
My legs tired.
Welcome to the couch, Shay. We are so grateful that you're here. I know for you, you may say, well, it don't matter because I would do it anyway. But I know, and I don't take it lightly, that you came out of who you are to be a part of this with me. So we're checking in, and we're checking in 1 to 5. 1 being I am present, and that's all I have to offer. 5 being this is the most amazing moment. For me, I'm at a 5. I am in my best space. This is my best effort. This is where I enjoy being. And so in this moment, that's where I am. How about you? In this moment, 1 to 5. Not about what you did 5 hours ago, not about what you think you're about to do, but in this moment, where are you?
I'm a 4.
A 4. Okay. 4, you want to share or no?
No, I'm just a 4.
You just a 4, good.
Yeah.
All right. So those who we've been doing this for 3 weeks and we have not really talked about what the check-in is, right? So the check-in started, like I've said this story a little bit. The check-in started with the passing of my mom, right? And so what happened was I had a girlfriend call me and she was like, "Hey Nick, I'm gonna come over. You feel like having company?" And my position was yes. It took her 2 hours, almost 3 hours to get there. And the energy that I had those hours ago, I didn't have by the time she got there. And I never, like when she came in, I let her in and I sat on the sofa. I was super, super quiet. I didn't really talk, but I was also not in the space to offer her my best self. And so what I realized is when we endure as a people, we tend not to ask others or check on ourselves in spaces. We tend to do what's necessary for other people versus making sure we're okay. And so the check-in then became my thing. I realized that I had not done a good job of checking on me, but I was holding others accountable to doing that work. And so I have in this space chosen to do this often. And as I've done it, I've realized other people need this, right? So I tend to use this in every space that I'm in because it teaches people how to take care of themselves. And once you know how to take care of you, I can charge other people to take care of me too, right? So when I'm not in a good space, I'm able to say I'm using her as an example, but I'm able to say like, in this moment, I'm just not having a good moment. What we also have realized is that it's fluid. Your emotions are fluid throughout the day. So where I am at 7:07, I may not be there at 10 o'clock, right? And so my open honest, even in my today, was I had a really rough day early, right? But in this moment, because I'm present in this space, I'm able to identify how I truly feel in this moment. And so this check-in is about that. The check-in, whenever you hear it, is about that, like where you are in the moment and then holding yourself to a space. So if you check in from 1 and 2, my 1s and 2s, what up though? Right? So my 1s and 2s, what you're saying out loud, what you said out loud is, I'm just not in a good space in this moment, right? I celebrate you for being able to say it. Now it's time to do something about it. So those who check in at a 1 or 2, I hold you to do 3 things. The first thing I hold you to do is activate your no. People hear the word no and immediately become annoyed, right? Or they feel like it's rejection. But me offering you to say no out loud is you giving a yes to yourself. You're not rejecting people, you're just rejecting the ask, right? So activate your no, make some time that's intentionally yours because you're deserving of it, right? You can't take care of you if you've already filled your plate with other people's things, which means that you offered them a yes, you offered them a no, so you can say yes to whatever it is that you needed, right? And the third thing I ask you to do is open your mouth. You pick those friends, you pick that family. Those are the people, those are your people. You chose them. Use them, right? I didn't say be a user, but use the people who want to show up for you, right? Open your mouth. Stop acting like they don't want to be there or you have nobody else. You have to learn to use your words, right? To my 4s and 5s, that's where we at. Hey, y'all. One of the things that I tend to tell my 4s and 5s, before I ask you to do anything, I want you to pause, right? The pause is necessary. The pause is to allow space for you to see if you can handle, do, or be anything else for anybody, right? When you're in a good space, it tends to be thought of that you can handle more things. And that's not the truth. Sometimes, even in my 4 or 5, I have nothing else to give. Sometimes I got a whole lot to give. In this moment at a 5, I'm checking in. I got it all to give. Whatever you need, I probably could give it, right? If I need to check on somebody, this would be the moment I would, because in this moment, I'm excited. In your 4 or 5, do you have more to give?
Nope.
No. And guess what that is? Okay. Right? People tend to think because you're in a good place, you can handle all of their stuff. And that's not the case. So to my 4s and 5s, I want you to check in on you first. Right? And if you can handle more, we're going to do more. If you can't, then stop and celebrate being there. Because it may not be there tomorrow. Right? So if you can handle more, I get you to do 2 things. 1, check in on somebody else authentically, meaning that you got the time, the capacity, the space to do so. Which means that if they're not having a good day, you can listen. Which means that if they're having a rough time, you can help carry, right? The other part is teach somebody else how to check in. That's what we're doing now. I am just giving you what I've always done, like what I've always done. I'm sorry, right? So do that. Teach them this. I use 1 to 5. You can use colors. You can use 1 to 10. Whatever you need, whatever you think works. Show them how. It's a better generation because we will choose to, right? To my 3s, hey y'all. 3s are my people who chose all of the above, none of the above on the standardized test. They ain't just choose anything. Or you walk past them and they said, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm fine. It's all right. Right? So they don't necessarily want to own anything because there's so many things. Like, I'm not the worst I could be. I'm not the best I could be, but I'm being. Right? But to them, I also get them to do something real crazy. I need you to take 3 deep breaths for me. And I mean like really deep. Go from your stomach, breathe and blow it out. Right? Breathe and blow it out. Breathe and blow it out. Nikki, now what? I need you to be honest with yourself. Because we tend not to really fall in the middle most spaces when we're in our emotions. We usually are at one end or the other. Right? And now that you've done that, I want you to choose. If you feel like you're a little lower, then do what my 1s and 2s do. If you like, no, Nick, I'm actually good, then do what my 4 and 5s do. And then somebody gonna be like, no, I'm really a 3. If you are, then be there. Do nothing. And that's also okay, right? So this has just been our quick little version of checking in. I'm so grateful that you chose to check in with us. We will get into our topic a little bit. If you have any questions, Shay says she's willing to answer any question. So if you are asking questions, I'm gonna tell you right now, go ahead and ask them because I don't know how many more times I'm gonna get her on this couch to just talk.
I didn't even say that.
You did? So you didn't say people could just ask questions when you was live?
I did say it, and I said I may or may not answer.
Oh, so you think you're not going to answer?
No, I mean, I'm an honest person, but if I don't want to answer, I'm not going to answer.
And here we are. So let's get into the topic. So when you heard about, like, when you immediately heard the topic, what were your thoughts?
My first thought was, what does that mean? In like what capacity? More like day-to-day stuff or long-term?
Okay. So I think we can talk about either one. Which one you want to talk about?
It don't matter to me. It's your show.
Oh, that's how you feel. It's my show.
Rodeo.
It's my show. It's my rodeo.
Yo road to the O.
All right. So I think most of the time my consideration or my thought process was challenges in role playing as couples. I think not role playing because that might be fun, but balancing roles in relationship, whatever like in any couple space. What do you think are the biggest challenges?
Elaborate. What?
When you talk about relationships and roles, like, do we have gender roles, you think?
I don't necessarily know if it's gender roles. I believe it's like upbringing. Like where your upbringing stems from and where mine stems from. Like, I know I'm an alpha female, but I also know, like, I have a gentle side, but it just depends.
So who take out the trash right here?
Man, them kids. Them kids. These bills paid. They better do their job.
But when it's us, why are you like avoiding these questions?
I didn't think I was avoiding the question. I did answer the question. I didn't think I was avoiding the question.
So when we
I'm gonna take out the trash. When it's me and you, you don't touch trash.
I don't touch trash.
I don't let you lift stuff. I don't let you carry bags, stuff like that.
So, and you think but it's not because like you are a man.
No, I think all people have masculinity and femininity. Like we're all born with that. Mm-hmm. Some people's come out in different ways, and some have more of one and more of the other. So,
I believe that. I think also in relationship, what we also miss is that there are expectations of one another. Like we didn't talk about those expectations, right? Like
True.
we didn't. So I think what happens is in relationships, people kind of have these unexpected and untalked about expectations and then are mad, right, when somebody else
Yeah, when it don't go right.
Don't go right.
Because you had it in your mind, but you didn't express it.
So how could, in our relationship, so the only thing we can talk about is ours, and then we're going to help whoever wants help, right? So in our relationship, how do you think we have grown with expectations? Or failed, right? Because we grow everywhere. I'm gonna just tell y'all, we mess up all the time. So tell me where you think we've grown in relationship and with expectations as the topic.
I believe sometimes the expectation is still there, but it's still like, because we are who we are at our heart, you gonna go and move and I'm gonna go and move.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectation, it's probably not known, but when it is known, it's executed. But when it's not, it still get done regardless.
So one of the things that are common in relationships is that people assume they know what's needed or what the other one wants, right? And so as you're enduring whatever relationship, whether it be same gender relationship, whether it be heterosexual, whether it be a relationship even with your children, right? Because I don't think we thought about these things. There's expectations even with your children that are unknown and unspoken that can hinder spaces. So when we talk about balancing roles, our children also have a role, right? And then we have a role to play, but they also have a role to play. Kind of what Shay was already saying, like, I expect them to take out their trash because we pay the bills, right? Those are the things that can sometimes go unspoken but expected.
Mm-hmm.
And so in relationship, that's also a thing. So if you're enduring or if you're in a space of a intimate relationship or even at that job, baby, that boss expects you to do a thing because somewhere in their mind they paying you to do a thing. Did you shake it?
Yeah, my boss don't do that.
But most places do, right? One of the other things I think that creates some balance challenges for relationships is uneven workloads, right? So when you have a space where you expect this person to carry it all and you carry in one bag, or you assume that your role is super heavy to carry without communicating that you're heavy to your partner or to your children again, or to your supervisor, like, hey, that list you turned in, that honey-do list also may not get done because it's heavy to carry.
But I think expectation eliminates like the personal perspective. Because let's say I have an expectation of you, that means I want you to do this thing for me, and I expect you to do it. And I expect you to know that I want you to do it, whether I communicated it or not. But I probably didn't consider how you feel. I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like you think, oh, you're my partner, so this is my expectation of you. But did I actually check on you to know if you could even do this? Do you have the will? You know what I'm saying? The capacity, like you say.
Yeah.
So
I think all of it, the first two things that we're talking about is all about communication. And I think in these spaces as roles, like when we talk about where your roles lie, if you didn't communicate,
cook my dinner.
What? Y'all be mindful about this. I don't know. It's on a couple of cameras now. Y'all see y'all don't know who she yelling at. But again, communication, and we could talk about that because she must have brought it up because she wants to talk about food.
No, I just ate.
No, I was talking about like in our marriage, and cooking of dinner. Is that what you was talking about? You just brought it up?
I was just saying, like, I feel like people be having that expectation.
Oh yeah, to just cook my dinner. I think the other part is effective communication is beneficial at every level of partnership, friendship, relationship. It is necessary, right? And then not believing that people are who you once had, right? So coming in with those unknown expectations or wishing that people do or become who you thought they were or who the person that you had before was is unfair, right? And so we want to make sure that when we talk about certain things, we are reminded of the care for other people. One of the other things is different self-care values. So we think about how people spend their time and what they do with their time can create these tense moments because they didn't just went and did what they needed to do for them. But again, communication, never coming back to say, hey, I need this, so I'm going to go do this versus just getting up going because we want people to take care of themselves. So that's not, we're not saying that's a bad thing. I think the bigger thing is making sure that you communicate with your partner. So that's a need. Not a want, which are two different things, but they need this self-care time. But if you haven't told your partner what you need in self-care, how do they know to support you in that space?
Or you can get on overload.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait to the end, so then you super indulge in whatever your self-care is.
So what is your self-care thing?
My self-care depends on what I need, where I am mentally too. Sometimes it's a good little 1, 2, 3 pair of shoes.
How many?
I mean, you can't buy one. Shoes to me is like a potato chip. I like them too much. I need at least 2. I got I'm leaving with something.
You're leaving with something.
So I need about 2. Sometimes it's about clothes, and I at least need 6 outfits, depending on how many shoes I brought also, though. But the shoe, I'm going to put the shoe on regardless of what the outfit is. I'm going to do what I want. So sometimes just going, escaping, listening to music, being by the water, taking a drive, which I think really that's the one thing we do
together. Like that's a self-care thing that we both like water.
Yeah. A trip, taking myself on a trip but then that'd be kind of boring. Like a personal trip be kind of boring.
They're actually not boring. You don't like, you don't, that's because you're not going to talk to nobody.
Oh, I'm not talking to
and you're gonna stranger. You're going to be in the cut. Like you'll pay to do what you want to do, but you'll be in the cut and not doing. I could take a trip.
You could, because you're going to talk to all the strangers. I'm not talking to none of them people. I'm not talking to nobody. I can promise you that you might not even know I was in there. I was in there too. Nope. I'm not talking to nobody.
Do you think that there's, or what we know for sure, there's also a such thing as role guilt, right? Like, so feeling guilty about prioritizing one another over another role, right? So we are both wives, right? We're both parents, right? We're both siblings. We're both children.
Those are my children.
Right? We're both employees, right? We're both entrepreneurs, right? And so we already at 6 hats. We didn't even count the children, right? We're aunties, right? Like we're all of these things.
Too many titles.
Right? Of titles that come with an expectation, right? And then we're also our own self.
Yeah.
Right. And so has there ever been a time where you felt like you felt guilty for doing or being in one of those places more than another?
100%.
How did you deal with those spaces? How did you deal with those?
Probably overcompensated than the other ones. Like when I ignore myself, then I'm overcompensated. I'm going to buy too much.
Yeah.
Because there's a such thing as buying too many shoes at one time.
I'm so glad you said it out loud. I'm going to keep this recording for previous things. So I mean, for future references.
I feel like I might have bought 6 at one pair at one time because I was like, dang, I ain't do something for me in a minute. Let me do this. And I feel like 6 was a little extra. Like in any role, if I feel like I'm not being a good enough daughter, I'm gonna probably annoy my mom to a point of where she kicked me out of her house with love, though. With love. Oh yeah, my mom would just be like, "Get out! I'm tired of people being around me. Get out of my house. Love you," and kick you out. That's cool. Sibling. I mean, I show up for my siblings regardless, and I feel like if we went a while without us time, then I want to spend time all the time. Then I'm tired of them, and I want some space.
Okay,
but you can still text me.
Do you feel like if you had to prioritize them, right? And you can still sleep, and you can still sleep in.
Prioritize what?
Prioritize all your roles. No, all your roles. What takes precedence of the other thing?
Like my truth right now, like what it's grown to be. What my truth is grown to be, it would be you, because you're the person that you bring me a different kind of joy, a different kind of peace to my life, like a different kind of headache. I seen this quote that said, "Don't nobody annoy you like your significant other and your mom." Dang, it ain't been proved wrong in my life yet. So, you definitely, because I feel like when we on the same page or when we flowing, it's like magnetic. You're gonna pick up the energy, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna see it. It's just flow. It's organic and it's dope.
Maybe organic. You think everybody's gonna catch us?
Nah, he ain't worry about us.
Oh.
He got them kids and that wife. Be a good man. I like that dude. But yeah. But I feel like it's still room for when other people need me. But if you need me and they need me, I'm gonna choose you. Because the goal is, y'all better, there should be a number 2. I know I'm amazing. And I'm one. I'm definitely the one. But you better, my mama got 3. So you better tag one of them other kids.
It.
Yeah. So I feel like that with everything though. Everybody should have that other person they can pick up if, I might not have the capacity. I might just can't do it. So you should have a backup plan.
Yeah, one of my next questions was, do you feel like they ever compete? And so I'm going to speak to, because you talked about how amazing I was. And so
what?
I think that they always, so kind of what you just said, one of the things I appreciate that you said that we have grown to a place. So again, we have not always been this today. And again, we talk about in the moment, child. It's 7:26. You don't know what might happen with us at 8:30. But at 7:26, we're in a space where it is, again, organic. And I think that's beneficial. But I was a mom, right? So many years prior to her coming into my life, that figuring out a balance where I take care of her as well as them, right? And so I would want to make, it was really hard. And I think if I had to choose things that competed or that have competed in spaces, it has been like my children and my spouse. And so where do you find the balance is that you teach them to also respect her too. I think that has been something, I ain't telling you to master it. I'm telling you that's the thing that I'm learning, right? Like if they see that you cater or care for that time, right, or you respect that space, they will then learn to flow in it. I've even had one of my kids say, well, you go ahead and talk to Shay, I'll talk about it later. Like even found a school, you know what I mean? Like if I'm on the phone and Shay walks in and we're talking, they're gonna get off the phone, right? So that I can find my space in a catering or connection. So I think over time we're learning and still, right? Like and still learning to prioritize our marriage as important as all that before other things.
I think that's the only way other things thrive too. And it's because it pours out. Like it pours over, it's gonna flow over. If we in alignment and our energy good, then when we walk in spaces, when we walk into challenges, when we walk into anything, we walking in it with a clear headspace together.
That's good. Again, if you want to ask questions, you are able to in any space. So we're on another live stream space this evening, so we're super excited about that. So not only are we on Facebook, but we're also on YouTube Live. We'll be on Spotify by tomorrow, and then we are also on TikTok Live tonight. Like we're winning, and this is also from our space of a child.
And we ain't doing no dance. Look at us.
And we're not dancing either. But one of our children said, you need to be in this space. I have no idea. Prayerfully, people are on there. And it's going to grow.
Word, big bird.
How do you know when you're carrying too much emotionally? And how do you respond in those moments?
I'm going to probably get really angry. But then I have to realize that I'm only angry because my emotions are at an imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to figure out like what's the root of it, and then I attack that first. Because everything else, like if I'm letting something build up, I'm probably not angry at all these little things. I'm angry because I let this one thing spiral.
So how does being in that space emotionally damage your role in this space? Do you think it's even damaging? And then like,
No, I feel like sometimes it probably is because I shut down, so I'm gonna isolate myself. So whereas the flow might continue, like that's just as simple as, let's say you and the kids in the crib, I'm just outside by myself, or I'm outside hiding. I ain't too far, if y'all need me, I'm right there. But for real, I'm just ducked off because I'm processing.
So I think one of the things that in relationship that we tend to forget, and again, we're talking about intimate relationship, parenting relationships. You can use this in spaces with your siblings, right? This is the things that we're talking about tonight. One of the things is when you are emotionally heavy, it goes right back to that communication. And then you got to figure out the ways that work for you in communication, right? So every time, sometimes us talking in the moment don't work, right? Us talking in the moment is not effective. It brings forth a hard place. It can even bring forth aggression, right? And so realizing that when we are emotional, even to the things that the other may not know, being able to send a text and say, I'm about to leave. I'm going for a ride, right? Like find the things that work. And sometimes I think people get upset or frustrated.
I'm gonna follow her.
Upset or frustrated because it's not the answer that they want, right? Or sometimes, but it all comes back to trusting who you have in the role. Like I'm even talking about talking to your children, to my single parents, who when you get frustrated, you feel like you can't go in the house or you want to eat your food in that car. Baby, I know I've been there. Right, like making sure that you are sending a text just to say, look, I'll be there in a minute or whatever, but the communication will help. Or when you're angry at that job and you take it into that house and it crosses the door sill and the kid was just asking you how to do the math problem, you then took that and made it a whole bigger thing, but your role was in that moment to be what they needed. And if you forget to talk to them, right, or you forget to share with them where your heavy is, you're going to miss it. Right. And it can create an imbalance in the roles. So now this kid feel like they can't depend on you, they can't trust you, all because you forgot to just talk. Right? You forgot to just speak.
But that's misplaced anger.
Misplaced anger, yep.
Miscommunication. A lot of times I feel like people in general, there'll be something else to make you upset, but then you just let it spill into everything else.
Yeah.
They say you hurt the people closest to you, so
because it's so easy to hurt the people closest to you because they guess where they at right there.
You better find the person that made you upset.
Yeah, but that's what we have endured that. So I hope you're talking to yourself.
Oh, and I do. I hope you're talking. Time. If you make it, I
hope you're talking to yourself.
I ain't playing with you no more.
If you could have an ideal balanced week for us, what would that look like?
I have no idea. Like what?
Like your idea balanced week. Like if you say, you know what, we were on it. Like this was a great week. What would it look like?
Vibes, relaxed, flowing. I want it to be like, whew, that's the win. I don't know why I did that though.
I don't know either.
No, like I don't want to think. I don't want to really have to think too much about what's next or what's this or what we doing or what we got to do something. I just like when we flow and like no responsibilities.
When we had that type of week?
When we on vacation.
Well, when the last time we did that?
We just was on a little mini vacation.
So that's your opinion and that's cool. So my idea would be that a balanced week would be like we know what's happening. Right. And that in that time we created some space that was ours. So like we had a dope, y'all. We went on a date night last night and it was all the things. Like it was kind of like a movie. I got to go wear your put your sexy things on and get cute. I was so sexy. I wore that mess to work. Anyway, I found something else to put on. But like, hey, put this on, go do this. And it was refreshing today to go to work. Like although we was up and we found a show, like we are TV watchers. Like that's our bonding space. It's TV.
Commentators. And
we also commentators. We was thinking about doing it. Somebody in the comments let me know if you think we should. We was thinking about watching shows and talking while we was doing it. Like what's the show we just finished watching? Ultimatum.
Oh, I thought you meant that.
And we also been watching 1,000 Pound Roomies.
Don't watch it.
those two things. Like, and we talked the whole time. But if in the comments you think that we should start commentating those things, we might.
We did talk the whole time.
We talked the entire time. But again, that's our space. So being able to go find a space that is ours and then even still show up for because we're gonna have the kids at the pool tomorrow. So like I think not necessarily taking no thought, but that there's a flow and that we found space that was ours and also included family. So
like even with like I just like it the flow. I don't want them bickering with each other either. I just like when it's
I do like when
flow. Like
that's
they flow. And if they bickering playfully, but not like
but that's why I asked you what you said and you didn't.
Oh yeah, because like that's a broad question to me. I need like details and then elaborate because I'm not one to just open the can.
Not open the can. Have you ever felt pressure to fit into a traditional role?
No.
I don't think nothing about your traditional actually.
Why? Thank you. I've lived this life. And I've done it. No, I don't really know. I didn't grow up traditionally though.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like my upbringing wasn't traditional, especially Thanksgiving. Those were amazing with my mom's. The other ones was like traditional, little turkey and ham. I don't want that stiff. It's dry. For real, but no, I feel like traditional. I feel like when people do live in a traditional mindset, I believe like you were programmed, and you just never found yourself outside of the conditioning that you were raised in. Like even though we were untraditional, I saw the traditional stuff, and it was like, wow, it looks so robotic, so trained, so prepared, and I was like, no, I gotta find my own little 1 2 1 2.
What's something that you think
What's something
unexpected we learned about ourselves through our roles?
Oh, I found out I was nurturing. That was a shock to me.
I found out that I'm not necessarily alpha female, but I've done things on my own so independently that depending on somebody was hard for me.
Yeah, because you like that song. I'm independent. I don't need nobody else.
What song is that?
Oh, I flashed to a movie. I meant a song though, but
what was that?
I don't know because I was immediately about to sing I'm a survivor, but I don't really know the rest of it. And you were this person. Does that make sense? Like you became this force because you knew I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna handle it, I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be. Like you was always going. You always outside. You always this. I'm always somewhere. And then it just changed because I am an alpha female. It was more like, no, I'm this.
I'm actually this.
Yeah, I'm this. I got it for real. Like I got you.
And then trusting that you actually did it.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely a part of our story, like really making sure that I could trust you. You know, we be saying these things like I'm independent. I just need y'all to get that, like, there's a space of, ooh, I want to be independent, and then there's another space of I want to also depend on somebody and really truly trust that that is it. I hope that you guys can hear us now. I'm sorry, we just realized that you couldn't hear. Please, in the comments, if you can, please let us know that you can hear us. Those who are on this side, I think you should be able to hear us. If you cannot, also please let us know. I think there's a space and a vulnerability that I think most people want to have that speaks to us being able to depend on somebody and truly trust that they are who they said that they are. I think that's been
That's the
big.
hardest thing.
Yeah.
Because people like a representative will show up, and I think that's cowardly as a whole. As I can't fit in that category, but with the people that do it, why try so hard to pretend to be this thing to get a person when you know that's not who you are? No, like that's not you. Because I'm big on integrity, so I just don't think it's a good idea.
So as you are, as we're about to close out, because my goal is to learn how to do this for 45 minutes or less. Because when I have my talk show with commercials added, that's about how long they talk. So as we are about to close out, tell me something if you could give advice tonight, as you give advice, because if you're doing it, as you give advice tonight, what would you advise somebody in a space of trying to maneuver in their relationship about, I wear the pants. No, you ain't got no skirt on. You got the pants. And what would you offer them to be successful in their relationship?
You go ahead. I feel like you said it so good and broke that down. You go ahead and tell people something.
No, it's on you.
But I'm parched. And what do you mean?
Give the people some advice.
About masculinity and femininity?
No, just about in the roles, period.
What role?
What are you doing right now?
I'm trying to make you answer.
Give some advice.
No, for real, advice on what?
Let me taking my notes.
You made notes. I didn't. No, advice on what? I'm serious.
I just said if there were people who are having a hard time creating or finding their space in their relationship, or they are battling in roles.
One, this is major. You got to know who you are. A lot of people.
That's good.
A lot of people lack accountability, and a lot of people refuse to change. And some people, they like to pretend to have a role, but really they like another role. Like I know some people that pretend that they wear the pants, but I also seen you in that house with that lady, and she weren't. She is running that thing. You is her puppet, and that's okay. That's the type of person you are. And the same vice versa. I've seen some women be outside like, no, because please. And when they go in that house, she like, I'm going to get it done. So one, who are you truly in that relationship?
I like that.
If you are the leader, you the leader. And if you're the follower, you're the follower. But don't try to bite off something that you can't chew. If it's not in you, it's not in you. You can't just become a leader overnight.
Yeah.
You can't just learn how to lead a people or a family or even the person you walk beside if you've never done it. Because that means I'm gonna walk in here and no matter what happened, because I'm a leader, if it go left, I got you. When it's good, I got you.
Yeah.
If a mass shooter come in there, I know what to do for you to get safe. That's the priority.
Yeah.
Don't duck with me.
Don't duck with me.
Because you're not the leader. If you're gonna be the leader, I need you to understand in every situation, you either got a solution or you don't. But if you're the leader, you gotta have a solution. You gotta know how to solve the problem. Ain't nobody gonna like it because sometimes it's gonna be the thing that nobody else want to do or that nobody agrees with. Because once again, perspectives is based on your integrity and how you were raised anyway. I might say no and you like, yeah, we can. And I'm like, no. If it's something like with the kids, I'm more of a no, learn. Show me what you did to fix it before you want me to fix it. So the same in a relationship. You can always be the person that fixed the problems or you can help learn how to fix it.
Look at you with your good answer.
I'm smart.
I'm smart. So one of the things I really want us to focus on is that in all relationships, in most spaces, there is one person, there are two people, I'm sorry, And they may have many hats, many roles, many expectations, right? But it doesn't mean that we have to lose ourselves in being them, right? Once you're one of the things I piggyback off of Shay is like know who you are, right? Before you connect yourself to anything or anybody, know who you are. And you know I believe in know whose you are, right? And so
I'm coming into Bernadette. I'm coming in there.
Right? So balance isn't the final destination. Although that's the title of today, the flow is, or the thing is to make sure that you guys flow. Whatever your rhythm or rhyme is, that it's flowing. And sometimes it's about like me actually showing up 100% authentically me for you. Right? It's not about that 50-50. Whoever believe in that thing, bless your little stupid heart. Right? It's about being 100% you when you show up, or being able to give the 100% even if they couldn't, right? And then when life pulls you in different directions, being able to still be for them.
So I hurt my knee, and she gonna have to walk for us.
I don't know what you're talking about. And the other part is remember that roles can be rewritten. They don't have to be. Like they can be rewritten, they can change, they will change, and be willing to change in that space for the success of the relationship. Choose love, offer grace, and keep showing up for yourself and for them. Right. And so as we close tonight, I just want to I want to first thank you, Shay, for being a part of tonight's show. I know that I do not take it lightly that you came in here.
Because it's 7 o'clock. You know what time it is? You know what I was supposed to be doing?
No. What?
Nothing.
Whew. Next week's episode, next Thursday at 7, the focus will be recognizing and combating burnout. It is summertime, people. People are working, things are happening around this world, and we want to make sure we are talking about what burnout is and addressing it and combating against it. I want to take this opportunity to thank my graphic designers, Miss Cara Presley and Diamond Kemp, for all of their amazing work. I want to thank Riverside for their production services. I do not take that lightly at all. And then if you want to be a guest here on the podcast, inbox me at any platform, or you can email me at Coach Nikki, CoachNikki .cwn@gmail.com. We are looking for more people to come and sit on the couch. We're gonna have a time.
I'm reviewing.
We're reviewing. But we'll also, it's bring your drink season, so bring your favorite thing. We're gonna have a time in this space. Yes. We're grateful, we're thankful for you guys being here tonight. One of the things I like to say is make sure while you out, you paying attention. Right? Paying attention costs you nothing, right? But if you do not, it can cost you everything. Peace.